All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. Tonight we're going to be talking about the Chicago Bears. Now, this is a team that went 3-14 last season, but don't let the statistics fool you, okay? The Chicago Bears were close in a lot of those losses. They were easily a couple of plays away from winning at least 5 football games, but nonetheless, the Chicago Bears ended the season 3-14. However, it was the first year of a full-scale rebuild, and we saw Justin Fields, and just the eye test alone has Bears fans ecstatic about not only this upcoming season, but the Chicago Bears' future for many years to come. So, rebuild, okay? I'm not saying the Chicago Bears are going to be a 13-win team this upcoming year, but I think they're going to turn a lot of heads. Now, I want to say really quickly, I am from Illinois. I'm from Chicago. I went to college in Chicago. I'm from the Chicago suburbs, but I'm a diehard Green Bay Packers fan, all right? I'm a diehard Green Bay Packers fan. This is an unbiased video. I'm terrified about the future of the Chicago Bears. I'm terrified of the future for Justin Fields. Now, for the city, the great city of Chicago, I can't be more happier. I can't be more excited because Justin Fields is a superstar and he's one of the best quarterbacks in the National Football League. And I think he's going to cement that into the NFL and the media this upcoming season. Now, the Bears, because this is a rebuild and you're entering year 2 of the rebuild, coming off of a season where you were the worst defense in the NFL with almost every single statistic, 27.2 points per game. They traded away guys like Robert Quinn, Khalil Mack, Roquan Smith, a lot of the Bear legends from the late 2010s were dished off. So could I see Justin Fields being an MVP candidate this upcoming season? Yes. In fact, I would think he probably will be. However, I don't know if the defense is deep enough right now to win, 9, 10, 11 games that would actually win you an MVP. I think a good comparison is always Joe Burrow. In his rookie season, he got injured, but the Bengals went 4-11-1. They had no offensive line. They were not a good football team. The next year they go 10-7. Joe Burrow, 34 touchdowns, 14 interceptions, but he still wasn't even really in MVP discussions. 2 to 3 years from now, Justin Fields is 100% an MVP candidate. And the future of the Bears is pretty much reliant on his future. We're going to talk about it in today's video. But before we do, if you guys enjoy it, be sure to hit that like button, hit that sub button for daily NFL content. I post NFL videos every single day, and I want to start posting more Bears videos. So if we get this video to 100 likes, that would mean the world to me. This is actually only my second ever Chicago Bear video. So I appreciate all the love from you guys. Now, the Bears had a lot of money and they had a lot of draft picks heading into the offseason. They did a great job in the draft. They did a great job in free agency. We take a look at guys like Darnell Wright, Nate Davis, fixing the right side of your offensive line. Some intriguing picks in the 2nd and 3rd rounds. Guys like Stevenson, Dexter, Pickens on the defensive side of things. Rashawn Johnson, underrated running back out of Texas. Tyler Scott, one of the fastest wide receivers in the draft. Wouldn't be surprised if Tyler Scott was wide receiver 3 by the end of the season. But the point still stands. The Bears have a direction. They have a plan, and they're sticking to it. And this was kind of the year where, with all this draft capital, with all this money, they kind of are filling out the roster with just talent. All right, they're just filling it out with talent and depth, which is something that, especially by the end of the season last year, they just didn't. They were, sending off previous regime players, and this is second year of new regime players. So you're going to see improvements, but I think the draft is somewhere really where the Chicago Bears improved, and I think you're going to see it pay off dividends in the years to come, but especially this upcoming season with a lot of these guys like Darnell Wright. We take a look at free agency, Nate Davis from Tennessee, pretty much the solution to the right side of the offensive line. Justin Fields' statistics last year were so impressive when you consider the fact that, yes, maybe his time getting the ball off was a little bit long, but the reason is because he's running for his life. The Bears offensive line last year was a complete and utter nightmare. Now, with that being said, there were still some positive, there were still some bright spots, like Southern Utah college I used to go to before I went to Loyola. Braxton Jones at left tackle, just intriguing offensive line pieces. But I loved the first round selection of Darnell Wright out of Tennessee, and I loved the free agent acquisition of Nate Davis. We also saw them mainly focus free agent money on the defensive side of things, getting guys that fit their scheme, not only in free agency, but also in the draft. But you saw with guys like TJ Edwards and Tremaine Edmonds. These are two huge moves at the linebacker position. TJ Edwards had over 150 tackles last season. Tremaine Edmonds, in his very brief NFL career, who's already emerging as one of the best star young linebackers in the National Football League, has never had a season under 100 tackles. And especially with the Roquan Smith trade, the linebacker position was something of need. So now you have Jack Sanborn as like your third linebacker. Well, I'm feeling pretty good about that linebacker unit next year. I would view TJ Edwards as extremely underrated, and I would view Tremaine Edmonds as extremely underrated as well. So you picked up two great linebackers. They're cheaper. They're younger than Roquan Smith, and combined, it's like the same salary. So great move by Ryan Poles there on the defensive side. You also saw some nice depth pieces, guys like Andrew Billings to come in and fill out that nose tackle role for this Bears defense. So once again, I think best case scenario, the Bears defense next season is like middle of the pack. And if you have a truly breakout third year Justin Fields, where he's, almost breaking rushing yards for quarterbacks like he did this past season, and he's throwing for over 200 yards per game, we're seeing the touchdowns, we're seeing limited interceptions, limited turnovers. I could theoretically see a world where the Chicago Bears win 10 games. Your defense is middle of the pack and your offense is top 10, led by Justin Fields. Obviously, the big move was trading away the number one draft pick and picking up in return, or one of the pieces you picked up in return, let alone from the Panthers next year's draft pick, which is going to be probably at worst top 15, and that's being generous. It's probably going to be top 10, was DJ Moore. DJ Moore is a very talented wide receiver in the National Football League. And before this past year, where he still had 888 receiving yards, he had 3 straight 1,000-yard receiving seasons. Okay, this is a legitimate stud in this league. He's super fast. He's super quick. He's going to create separation, which is something Bears wide receivers had a huge issue with last season. You pair him up with a healthy Darnell Mooney, and it's got Justin Fields probably licking his chops. I love the wide receiver depth. The Chase Claypool is still kind of up in the air, but guys like Tyler Scott, I think Tyler Scott's probably the best receiver out of Cincinnati last season, and Trey Tucker went before him. Dante Pettis, really solid depth piece. ESB, Notre Dame legend. The tight end, new addition, Robert Tonyan from my Green Bay Packers. Pair him up with Cole Kmet, my former schoolmate. I'm very much a fan of the weapons Fields has. Okay, keep in mind, DJ Moore this past season, almost 1,000 yards with the quarterbacks in Carolina. It's like it's a trivia question, and 10 years from now, you'll be at a sports bar, and it'll be the bonus question: winner wins this, and it'll be the most difficult thing ever. It'll be like, name every starting quarterback for the Carolina Panthers in 2022, and nobody will get it. DJ Moore, with what he had, did a lot. All right. So this Bears team, I'm going to predict probably 8 or 9 wins this upcoming season, but man, their future looks great. Let me know what you guys are thinking about the Bears this upcoming year. Hit that like button, hit that sub button. I'll see you guys later.